All right, for a closer look at the primary races today, we're bringing in NewsNation's political editor, Chris Stirewalt. Chris, great to speak with you again. You know, obviously two targets of the former president we're talking about here on the ballot, Cheney and Murkowski. So are today's primaries maybe more of a referendum on President Trump, former President Trump, than, let's say, President Biden?
Well, sure. I mean, this is all Republican on Republican violence. This is what primaries are about. These are family feuds. In Wyoming, I was just out there and talked to a bunch of folks on the ground. I can tell you this. While it is a lot about Trump and it is about all those things, there's also just a lot of resentment against Cheney because what a lot of Republicans in Wyoming wish she would do is shut up. Even the ones who agree with her in private don't like her airing the dirty laundry in public and don't like this public division. So it's not just the people who strongly support Trump who may oppose her, but those other people who would like to just wish all of this stuff away. Whereas Cheney says, no, we've got to go through the hard work of doing this now.
All right, Chris, you do not mince words. I appreciate that. So you call this sort of a family feud, so to speak. Obviously, Cheney, Murkowski, both Republicans, but they are expected to get somewhat of a boost from Democrats because in Wyoming, some people are switching parties to back Cheney. And then in Alaska, there's that new ranked voting system. It could see Murkowski earn a big boost from those left-leaning voters. So, Chris, how much of an impact do you expect that to have on the outcome of these primary races?
Well, I'm not saying that the Wyoming Democratic Party could have its convention in a phone booth, but there are not very many Democrats in the cowboy state. It's like 75% Republican. So, and especially, you know, there are some Democrats in Jackson Hole on the western side of the state, but in the eastern side of the state where the population centers are, that is red, and that does not bode well for Cheney. Alaska is a different story. Sarah Palin's efforts, so she's running for two things at once today. She's running for the unexpired term that just goes through the end of this year, and she faces a Democrat, and she faces fellow Republican Mark Begich. They have this runoff system, right? This automatic runoff ranked choice voting. And the question is, how will Palin voters and Begich voters, how will the Republican voters choose for their second choice? If we have the Democrat that finishes on top, which is what I would expect, because there are a decent number of Democrats in Alaska and they only have one candidate in the race, then who will those Republicans choose as their second favorite candidate? I bet a lot of Begich voters will choose the Democrat as their second favorite. I bet a lot of Palin voters will leave the second choice blank or not do it, and their votes will get thrown out. So don't be surprised if you see the Democrat finish first, and then as the ranked choice voting kicks in, that Begich climbs the ladder. But it's also possible Palin wins outright. It's Alaska, it's big, it's wild, it's woolly, and we won't even get the ballots in for another, we won't know for at least 10 days because given the size of the state, they leave a 10-day window for mail-in ballots to arrive.
Yeah, it's certainly a huge state there. Chris, always put it in terms we can understand. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.